Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another reading. I hope you're all having an amazing day. You're drinking water, staying healthy, I hope. Working towards your goals. As long as you're at least 1% better every day, you're being consistent, right? Consistency is key. Okay. And I have an update for you at the end. Okay. Once more. Okay. Spirit, what energy is the viewer in at the moment, please? Excuse me. Okay. So the Five of Pentacles, the World, the Three of Swords, Seven of Wands, and the Lovers in reverse. The Five of Pentacles is also in reverse. Okay. So I feel like you used to be held down by material things. So if you don't have a nice car or if you don't have a certain amount of money, you're not worthy of certain things, right? And that is no bueno, right? That was just further cementing why you shouldn't have these things, right? Because you don't believe on an like a cellular level that you can have these things. So you weren't being given reasons to believe why you should have them, right? But you started to okay, as you started to heal and to work on your wounds, you realized that this way of thinking is only holding you back. I actually have been seeing this card 456 on the timer for the past few days, but I was ignoring it because it was while I was getting the cards like this, it would turn, but then it would turn back over. So I ignored it, but now it must have been itching to come out, right? So you are trying to unlearn these habits and ways of thinking, okay? Um, a lot of these books have different meanings for each card, so I just want to see what it says for the lovers. Was that 6? Excuse me. Yeah. Okay. So now that you're unlearning these negative patterns, it could be financial, it could be in love, it could be a mix, right? 656 on the timer. So take it as it resonates. Go within, do your own reflecting, and find out what it is if you don't know, okay? So I feel like for a lot of us, starting spirituality, it's all about love and light and being nice, right? But if you're constantly in this love and light like state of being, you end up leaving people walk all over you, and that's even worse than being a prick, right? So you've learned that you must integrate your light and shadow sides to be one, to be balanced, right? And you're starting to do that. And by doing this, you have woken up a passion, excuse me, a passion inside you to work towards your purpose, to work on being the best version of you that you can be, to help others, to help yourself, right? Because there's an element to healing that healing other people will heal you in a way that other ways of trying to heal cannot heal, right? Because we are like all one. We are meant to be a community. These days everyone's alone, everyone's in their own house, everyone's hyper independent, and it's ruining us as a species, right? And you knowing this, or coming to learn this are realizing that your gifts and your purpose in life is much larger than life itself, right? It's whatever. It's amazing, right? And okay, obviously, we all have to start somewhere, right? Rome wasn't built in a day. 143 on a timer. Rome wasn't built in a day, but when Rome fell, the Romans didn't know it had the empire had fallen until much later on, when the roads were not upheld and the buildings were falling apart. The walls were fucked. 1111, right? You are building something so big that if you went viral overnight, you wouldn't be able to handle it. 1133, right? If you like, let's say if you were make music, right? You upload your first song in the first week, it goes in the world top 100 charts, right? And then all of a sudden you get these big record labels and all these people reaching out wanting to make music with you, and you wouldn't know what to do with yourself, and you'd be so excited about making a deal and making money and putting out your art that you might ignore your inner guidance, right? You might ignore your intuition, and that's how it starts, right? The downfall. Because especially if you have trauma, right? Your nervous system wouldn't be ready to handle the amount of money. It's the same with, like, if you win the lottery, right? When you unless you're already rich, but rich people don't really do the lottery because, you know, it's basically a fucking scam. But white butterfly, when you uh, sorry, there's a bird outside, but it's in the shade, and I just can't see it because the sun is shining off the window. But you hear these stories the whole time. People have been poor their whole life. They come into a couple million and it's gone by the end of the year, right? Or after a year, 143. And it's because they weren't able to hold it, because their nervous system wasn't able to handle having that much money, right? Which is why we're going through this healing journey and the journey of the self to 234 and 434, to get us ready for the riches that are coming, for your purpose, right? For helping people to what's the word? because we're expanding the collective's consciousness and the consciousness of the world, Earth. Okay? So you're determined to stick with your purpose, right? I'm not getting any like sign of you're going to just up and leave or you're not ready, right? Usually when we're not ready or we feel that we're not ready, 543, it means that we are. Okay? We're just nervous of leaving our old self behind. And a lot of people demonize fear. Now, obviously, it's circumstantial, right? Someone fearing for their life in a war-torn country is a lot different to you trying to achieve your goals. So obviously, use your brain, right? I mean, in this context, you're scared of being seen, you're scared of putting yourself out there because of how people may perceive you, or because maybe you used to dim your light because you were an anxious child, or etc., right? Fear is a portal, right? And by portal, I mean if you're scared of making this leap of faith, if you're worried about how people will receive you, right? And you would do it anyway. You post the content, you release that song, you sell that painting, right? That is a portal into your new timeline. And if you don't act on fear and you say, oh, I can't do this, it's too scary, that portal closes up until another time, right? It's all cycles. Life is just a one big massive cycle, okay? So when you say no and you don't upload your art, you go off, start doing some random shit, whatever, and then we circle back in a month or two, and we'll see if you're ready. Either way, you're probably going to do this anyway, because if you're anything like me, 9 to 5 is staying for you, right? I've tried to work jobs, and no matter what I do, things don't work out, right? I was applying to a load of jobs because I was getting pressured by my mother to give her money for rent, right? I mean, I did tell Spirit if I'm not meant to work a normal job like a 9 to 5, right, to not get me in any interviews. And sure, look, we're here now, aren't we? Got no interviews, so But I brought that up for a reason, right? If you have people pressuring you, okay, again, circumstantial. If you have a family, I know it's hard, but you just gotta have a little faith, okay? You're determined, you're fired up, you're running full steam ahead at your purpose, and you're not stopping anytime soon, okay? But there's a decision you need to make, okay? I'm guessing it's revolving your person, okay? You may have a fear of commitment, okay? Maybe the separation with your person has swayed your opinion on your person, right? So let's say you haven't talked with your person in a year and you're there like, it's been long enough. I'm doing the work. I've waited all this time and my person's not coming in. So if my person doesn't come in, I'm gonna go off and find someone who will value me, right? And that is valid, okay? But divine timing, okay? Realistically, if your person comes in, you're gonna say yeah, right? But I mean, obviously, if they're healed, you're more likely going to say yeah. Obviously, use your discernment. Okay. If you use TikTok, if you use fuck Instagram, if you watch readings on TikTok, right, it's very easy to get caught up in the amount of readings on TikTok, right? Sometimes I have to stop myself because every video or every second video is a reading. So watch out for what you consume, okay? Because I used to excuse me, I used to watch readings, and even if there was something that didn't resonate with me, 242, if it didn't resonate with me, I'd still internalize that, right? Because other parts of the reading were for me, so must be for me, right? Even though I knew it wasn't, I was internalizing that, and then I do that with the whole reading and other readings as well, when certain information wasn't for me, right? So be mindful in what you're consuming, because as powerful as our minds are, they are very fucking stupid, right? we are very impressionable, and don't take in any information that's not needed, okay? 523 on the timer. Okay. I think there's blackbirds outside. Maybe they're significant for someone. They look black. There's a massive tree in the shade, so I can't really fucking see him, to be honest. And it's been raining, so the windows are dirty because of me dog. Dirty bastard. Okay. No. What was it? Also, if you feel cold, I've been channeling the song Cross My Heart by Artemis. I'm sure you can spell it, but it's Artemis. I'm pretty sure. Okay. Spirit, what energy is the collective's person in at the moment, please? And thank you. I'm gonna take that. Okay. 3 more. That was the 8 of Swords. If it comes back out, I'll take it, but I feel like I kind of fucked up the... Yeah, okay. I'll put it in the middle. Okay, 3 more, please, Spirit. Okay. If you realize sometimes in between getting the cards, I split the deck as if I'm going to shuffle, even though I'm not trying to shuffle. And I did it twice there. The first time I got the King of Cups, and the second time it was the King of Swords. Okay. So, death. the Knight of Wands, the Emperor in reverse, the Ace of Swords, and the Queen of Pentacles. This is everything. Oh, excuse me. Yeah. Something I've learned recently, right? When you yawn, it's your body's way of getting energy out, right? So yawn as deep and as far as you can. Get as much air and energy out, right? So your person is letting things go, right? Releasing what no longer serves them. Hence the yawn, okay? So Scorpio here, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, and Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. It doesn't have to be like sun. It could be sun, moon, rising, or any other placements, right? Just take it as it resonates. They are releasing what no longer serves them, letting go of old habits, people, excuse me, maybe work is holding them back, so maybe they left their job. But your person's fired up. They want to take action. They are like frothing at the mouth, trying not to reach out, right? Now, I don't think they're ready yet, right? Because Emperor in reverse. But that doesn't mean that they won't come in, or that if they do come in, that they shouldn't have, and that they're like still fucked up, right? Like if they do come in, it will work. What I'm getting here is they are just nervous, right? They're not in that Emperor energy. They're not taking action towards things that they want because of fear of rejection, fear of commitment, whatever, okay? Doesn't matter the reason. So when your person builds up the courage to come back, they'll come in. Doesn't mean they won't come in like this. Like if they're being called to come in, even if they're not ready, or even if they're scared to come in, scared of rejection, scared of commitment, right? As I was saying earlier, you don't have to 34. I've been seeing that a lot recently as well. They don't have to be a certain way to come back in, right? Obviously, they have to be healed to a certain point, because if they're not going to be compatible with you, because you're 3, 4, 5, 6. You're so fucking amazing at ascending and growing that if they don't do the work, you're going to be so far ahead of them that it won't work out, right? So they they're planning what to say, okay? So maybe they're typing out messages and deleting them and retyping them, trying to find the right words to say. Slowly drifting. I channeled that song yesterday, I think. Waves, Robin Schulz. Robin something anyway, it's definitely a fucking Robin. A load of them have all the same names. Is Calvin Harris on that song? No. Okay. Yeah, so they're. I feel like that's also why they are the Emperor in reverse, right? Because maybe they're planning ways on coming back in, but they're also planning around like answers, like if you say no, or they're trying to plan around if you start like ripping into them for how shitty of a person they've been, right? Valid, but mind your words, right? Words can hurt, especially when you're in a vulnerable place. So they want to have the answers for everything to prove that they are sorry, but sometimes being over prepared can come back and bite you in the arse, right? They know that they have done the work, right? That they are stable enough to come back in and offer you reciprocity and commitment, like real commitment, right? But again, fear of rejection, whatever, at 38, maybe holding them back. And I feel like they're trying to find ways to prove how much they change, right? And also they want to talk to you about the things they've learned, right? Maybe they started learning about twin flames, right? I was actually at my person's house, and we used to smoke, right? So if we were smoking outside, she'd go on TikTok, and we both just watched her TikToks, like her feed, not her TikToks. And at the time, I never did it because I used to always get readings on my For You page, so I didn't want her to see it, right? And one day I was looking at her phone and she swiped up and a TikTok came up about twin flames. And I started laughing to myself. And she like swiped up really quickly, which is funny because I'm not sure at that point she knew if it was me because we can have false flames, right? 4 on the timer. So people that come in and mimic your twin flame, usually it's while the twin flame is in your life, right? So like you wouldn't meet a false flame before you meet your twin flame because that's the whole point of the twin flame journey. You have to decipher what you want, what's truly for you, and there's a lot of like other people's opinions get in the way, so you have to get over, like learn how to ignore other people's opinions about the relationship. And that's where the false flame comes in because no one really talks shit about them, so your person may believe like, oh, this is my twin flame or blah 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 blah, right? Whatever. So yeah, maybe your person is learning about twin flames and wants to talk to you about it, as if you don't already know, right? Learning about why they used to act how they acted and just what they've learned about themselves. Maybe there was things that happened in their life while you were 2, 3, 4, while you were in separation, and excuse me. Yeah, so maybe there's things that happened that if you were in their life, they would have told you, but since you were in separation, they couldn't tell you, and maybe that 432 that hurt them or like it upset them. So there's a lot to talk about. Now, I'm sure that goes both ways, right? There's a lot of things that happen in your life that you wanted to treat 4321 that you wanted to tell your person but couldn't, right? That's what this conversation's about, right? Apologies, reminiscing, telling stories about what 357, what you would have wanted to tell each other, and then getting to know each other for the first time again, basically. Because I know you're not the same person you were last time you met or last time you were before you went into separation, right? They are not either. And this time is for you to learn excuse me, learn about each other, learn what makes you happy, what you hate, and see if you're compatible, right? 4, 5, 6. because you're basically meeting a brand new person. But this time, your souls get to connect. For real this time. Obviously, I'm going to keep saying it until it's ingrained into your brain, okay? Use your discernment. 525 a second ago. Please. You don't want to end up hurt even more than 45 because you decided to listen to your ego. Okay? 45, 54, 555. Okay. Oh, fuck. I am broke up after yesterday. Okay. Spirit, what are the collective's person's next actions and their connection, please? And thank you. Okay, 2 more spirit, please. We have the sun on the bottom of the deck. Okay. A lot of fire. Only fire energy, to be honest. Other than the major arcana, but so we have Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. We also have Aquarius and Capricorn. I keep saying I'm going to learn the zodiac ties to the major arcana. I promise I'll do my research tonight. Okay. So, what's it? Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Capricorn, and Aquarius. So the Magician, the 3 of Wands, the Star, the Ace of Wands, and the 8 of Wands. What's that? 17 and 1. Okay. 11, 48, 40. 48, 48 on the timer. But there's the Ace of Wands is 1. We know that. The Magician is number 1 in tarot. And 8 plus 3 is 11. So 11, 11, right? Reunion, reconciliation. It's on the cards. Okay. So. Your person has come to the realization that they have everything that they need within, right? They don't need no external validation. Maybe your person used to distract themselves with substances or people, right? that era of your person is done. Okay? They're not distracting themselves anymore because there's nothing to distract, or there's nothing that they need distracting from, because they've gone within, they've done the work. Excuse me. Confirmation burp. Burping is also a way to release energy. So burp your hearts out. I know people, especially if you're a girl, right? There's a lot of stigma around burping and fucking yawning. Yawning. Like, it's not very ladylike. Fuck that. If you agree with that, right, you are giving in to the patriarchy, right? The what's the word? The things that they force for their own gain, right? Like, putting a woman in her place, or like making them feel less than for a normal bodily function, right? If you shame people for yawning or burping, like out loud, not out loud, but like, or for not being polite with it. Oh, okay. So they have everything within. They know what they're doing now. I feel like for a while they may have been scared. That's valid. This journey is nerve-wracking. It is scary. Entering the unknown. The Pleiadians, Trisha Trimhammer, you may resonate with them. I think that's how to say it. See, I can't see where I'm fucking showing. Okay, you see him? Yeah. Her. The star. One focus, yeah, honey, got focus, core. Alright, fuck that. Okay. Maybe that's significant. And they're not another butterfly, white one. They're not 444, 54, 45, pouring from an empty cup anymore, right? Because they the butterfly. 55 on the timer. and 555. So, yeah, they're not pouring from an empty cup, right? So they don't need anyone to fill their cup, and if they wanted to pour into someone else's cup, they can, because theirs is not empty anymore, right? But the only cup they're going to be filling is yours. Right, they have this immense amount of a fly just flew into the window, sorry. They have this immense amount of passion and love inside them towards you, right? And you inspire them so much to be a better person, to be the best versions of themselves that they can be, right? Now, you do this anyway, right? 646. Excuse me. 654, 5656. You inspire everyone to be better versions of themselves, right? But you have helped them in ways that you couldn't fathom unless they physically told you. And they probably will, but obviously divine timing and that. And they're going to reach out, right? They're going to take action. I'm getting that spirit or their intuition has told them that's okay to reach out, but I know when spirit told me to start posting readings, I hesitated on it for a bit, right? Putting yourself out there it's scary, right? And although I never hurt any of you, I hope, your person hurt you. So it's a lot different to posting online, right? So you keep focusing on yourself, keep focusing on your purpose, right? And your person is going to come in, right? It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And when that is, in divine timing, okay? Everything happens for a reason. Everything happens exactly when it's meant to happen. One sec. Sorry, I thought something's at the door. Yeah. They know what they want. They have you in their crosshair. Excuse me. Excuse me. You are... They have you in their crosshair. They're going to shoot. They're just waiting for the right time, right? Okay. So, I'm going to see what advice you need. 1, 2, 3 on the timer. Spirit, can I have one card of advice for the collective? What do they need to hear right now, please? And thank you. Okay. So, you are very anxious at the moment, right? Whether it be about your purpose, your person, both, right? I've been feeling this energy for like a week or two. It's like really icky and nauseating and just like, right? Anxiety is only there when you're nervous about something, right? So you're nervous about another fly flew into the window. Um, you're nervous about your purpose, right? Being open, being vulnerable. Um, it's a new experience for you, right? Especially if you're like me, you were very introverted. Like, I was always introverted until I got to know you. Then I don't shut up, right? 2 to 2 on the timer, right? Everything is happening in divine timing. You don't need to worry, okay? I know, easier said than done. 1, 2, 3, 4. Try to ground more, okay? Walk around barefoot in some grass. Preferably somewhere in a park or in a big field, right? Because if you live on like a street or somewhere that's surrounded by concrete or whatever, right? The more space the grass has to breathe and to live, right? The healthier the grass is. Most of our gardens are only a small layer of dirt and with topsoil on it, right? So try and go to a field, maybe a park, walk barefoot. Fuck what people think. You're grounding. You're living your best life. You're happier because of it. What are they doing? Sitting at the park judging someone else. How shitty is their life? Okay? 3, 4, 5 in the timer. Fuck what they have to say. If you're letting the opinions of others about you walking barefoot or hugging a tree get you down, you have more work to do, okay? 1, 4, 3 in the timer. It's okay to be nervous. It's okay to be anxious. But ground yourself, okay? Exercise as well, okay? Exercise. Go for a walk. If you have any dogs, walk your dogs. If you don't, get out in nature. Nature is the key to getting rid of anxiety and depression, right? Obviously, depression is linked to trauma, 1441 on the timer. So, obviously, you're already after starting your healing journey. So, get out in nature more often, right? Speaking of exercising, I went to Muay Thai last night. And I have to say, it was one of the most awkward experiences of my life at the start, right? I was kind of standing around. There was like a class on right before. There was my class, but then there was another class at the same time, like on in the same gym. And I was just waiting around because it hadn't started yet, but people were kind of just walking around talking on the mat, and I didn't know anyone. And so I was just standing around until it started. And then when it started, I was fucking dying. And all I had that day was some wedges in the morning, some Monster, and I had a banana right before I went in. Brother. Started getting sick in the toilet, but I feel like it's because I was like really thirsty, so I kept downing my water, and that just filled up my stomach. Oh, it was so bad. But then after that, I was done. Like when I was finished getting sick, I went back out, started or kept on doing the training. I haven't done exercise, like proper exercise, in ages. I am fucked at the moment. My legs, it hurts to walk, it hurts lifting my arms up, but movement is key. We have to keep moving because it's like energy. When energy is blocked, that's bad. We are just energy, right? So when we're stagnant, or there's energy that's stagnant in us, we become stagnant, okay? So even if it's in the comfort of your own home, dance your fucking heart out, right? Doesn't have to be anything spectacular, just move, okay? Maybe play some music in your headphones or just out loud, whatever, and just move. If you wanted to dance since you were a child, maybe join a dance class, right? 757. Uh, yeah, maybe if you like mountain biking or wanted to do it as a child, or hiking, and you never really got to do it, just fucking start that shit, right? I, although I'm fucked and I just want to sleep all day, I can't wait to go back, right? Because we can eat all the right foods, we can be spiritually and emotionally sound and healthy. But if you're just sitting around all day, especially like if you work a desk job, right? If you're lounging around, sitting down all day, and you go home and you're sitting down watching the TV, even if it's informational, right? If you're learning something, you're still stagnant, you're not moving. And in order for us to release energy, right? Burping, yawning, movement, okay? We need to be active and be active in whatever way makes you happy, right? I don't care how. 949, just do something, okay? And I know, it's tiring. 111, it's hard, but You have to start somewhere, eh? 10, 10, 11, 11. Okay. That is all for today's reading. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, hit the bell notification button, and comment if any of it resonated. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. I hope you're working on your purpose. Remember, I keep you accountable, you keep me accountable. Okay? Thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.